What's going on, guys? My name is Tim Van Zon. I am the operations manager here at NTTV. Today we're going to be going over the camera workshop. So what that entails is going over this camera, the lav mic, XLR cable, headphones, you got your batteries, then the tripod, and then after that we'll just go ahead and get it all rolling. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. Hopefully this is going to be helpful for you guys. And yeah, let's get started. Oh, I didn't see you there. So this is going to be your bag, and it's going to be your tripod bag. So what goes into this bag, so I open this bad baby up. Headphones, lav mic, and opens up, and we'll kind of get into that later in this video. Got your 2 batteries right here. And of course, the camera itself, the Panasonic. And in this little zipper right here, we got XLR cables. I will teach you how to properly wrap these as well. And last but not least, stick mic for whatever your stick mic needs. So that's this bag. And then obviously, tripod bag. Tripod. All right, now, setting up a proper shot, what we're basically gonna do first is extend the tripod. All right, now this is the tricky part. We're gonna go ahead and zoom in for this later in this video, but when I put on the camera on the tripod, there's a little silver mechanism. And that silver mechanism is kind of the key of how you put on the camera on the tripod. The plate will always be on the camera, and so what you want to do is hold down the mechanism to unlock it, kind of slide it in this way, and then put it at an angle, and then you just put it down, make sure it's in place, and then you just twist it in and lock it up. And boom. It is now on. Now, the basic movements of this tripod, you've got kind of the panning shot, and the way to lock that is through this little kind of wheel right here. So if you twist that, locks in place, twist it. The tilting up and down is this little mechanism here. It's got a lock, you just undo that doohickey, then you can tilt up and down, and lock it in place again. Stabilizer is gonna be underneath the tripod here. What you do is you adjust kind of the bottom here. It's a little bit tight. And then there's going to be a little bubble as well. You want to make sure you get that little bubble in the center. That way you know it's stabilized. And once it's in the center, you just kind of twist it in place. And so that's kind of the basics of putting on the tripod and then putting the camera on the tripod, and then kind of the basic movements. One of the extra things that I like about this tripod in particular is that if you see this handle over here, you can actually raise the tripod or the camera shot a lot higher. If you twist this doohickey here, then raise it up, kind of like that, twist it back in place, and boom, you've got an insanely high shot. Kind of the secret to the tripod that not a lot of people know. And then there's also another switch here it's on all 3 tripod legs. If you press it down, you gotta make sure it's not locked, push it in, press it down, and then you can actually extend it way far so you can get like really cool shots. Then just kind of do that to put it back in place, and there you go. So I'm just gonna take this off now so it's easier for me to put on the camera battery. This is your batteries. You can check how much batteries you have by pressing this little button called check. We're gonna obviously zoom in and all this and all that jazz. Mine is fully charged. So the way that you put this on the camera is you have to look for these 3 little prongs on the bottom. Now we'll zoom in on this and later. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 prongs. And you have to match those 4 prongs at the back of this camera. There's gonna be 4 prongs at the bottom, and obviously you'll see that in another shot. So what you do is kind of line it up, slide it in just like that, then you press down until you hear the click, and it's in place. Look at that. Okay, now let's turn it on. So the way to turn this camera on, you gotta be kind of sensitive with it, because the way you turn on is just a switch. And there's gonna be a little white button here that you press down and then you switch. So you press it down and then you switch it on this side right here. And when you know it's turned on, it has a red light over here and not up there. So that's turned on. And now we can do, you see the viewfinder? It's gonna be on the left side of the camera. It says pull. Just go ahead and slide it out, kind of like that. Cool? All right, gonna slide this back in and then put it on the tripod, and then we'll go over.
Hey, it's Kaylee. I'm filling in for Tim here, just to make sure that you're actually watching the program. There's gonna be an extra credit question at the end of the quiz, and it's gonna be, what is Tim's middle name? And Tim's middle name is Lim.
Spell it out.
Oh, I thought you could put in like the graphic.
True, you're right.
L-I-M as in mouse, Lim. Make sure you guys are still watching so you don't break our cameras.
So at this point, I'll be going over working audio for the camera. We will be using a wire called the XLR cables that will connect to the camera and the mic. There are two endpoints to the cable. One is the male end and the other is the female end. The male end connects to the camera in either input 1 or input 2. The female end connects to the mic source, lav, stick, or wireless mic. Also remember to check your lav mic if it has batteries in it. If the lav mic isn't working and is connected, chances are it doesn't have batteries, or the batteries are dead and need to be replaced. Next is plugging in the headphones to check audio levels. There is a port on the right side of the camera to plug in the headphones. Note that you can also check your audio levels down here. Before you start recording, you need an SD card. Typically we use these SD cards. Note that reporters need their own SD cards, and I would recommend buying one anyways, as you will be using it throughout your college career or even further after that. The SD card slot is also located at the back side of the camera and is on the top of the battery slot. You can place it in either a slot 1 or slot 2. Moving on, we have the basic layout of the side of the camera that you will be using. The main buttons to note here are the menu button and the white balance button. First thing you want to do before shooting anything is to format your SD card. Press the media button on the side of the camera and this menu will appear. Hit Other Function, Format Card, then SD card slot 1 or 2 depending on where you put the SD card in. The reason you want to do this is to ensure that you have the max amount of time to record your content. Before you format your card, make sure you have backed up the footage on it. Next, to ensure that you're recording on the right format, go to Record Setup, Record Format, click PH1080/60i. White balancing your shot is simple, but you have to make sure that you're doing it correctly. Any simple white piece of paper will do. What most people do that is wrong is they put the paper in front of the camera and white balance it that way. You don't want to do that because you want to white balance your subject. Be sure to give your subject the paper and white balance on that. What you want to do next is zoom in on the paper. Then hit the WB/white balance button and you should see the shot white balance.
Well, hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and like and subscribe, comment, notifications, all the good jazz. I'm just kidding. But yeah, we've got other videos as well coming up for the workshop, but go ahead and watch those, and catch y'all on the flip side.